everybody. Sorry we're running a bit late. We'll just wait for some more people to arrive. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Just wait for everybody to join us. Hope you're all well. It's a lovely day outside today. How are you all? Let me know in the chat box how you are today. How are you, Emily? Let us know how it goes working on the laptop, if it's easier or doesn't make much difference. You're at the beach, Lula? We've been to the beach. Grace, I'm having a lovely day, thank you. I hope you are too. Oh no, Casey, why are you so tired? How are you tired too? I'm great, thank you, Ted, for asking. You stayed up too late. Have you been to the beach then, Lula? Have you took the dogs for a walk? Dog, you've only got one, haven't you? Have you took the dog for a walk? Just wait for a few more people to join us. Not everyone's in yet, I don't think. No, Ari's not in yet, Lila. You lost a tooth, Becky, last night. Good, Kyle. I'm glad you've joined us. I'll tell you in a minute, Stan, what lesson we're on. Morning, Finn. Right, let's get a start because we were already a little bit late this morning. Okay, right to Year 6. Today is World Book Day. So we're going to celebrate that by looking at some stories and doing some work based around it. That made me laugh, that one. I had to get that picture in today. Lovely comments coming in there. So, happy World Book Day, everybody. Can you tell me what is your favourite book and why? So not just the title in the chat box, you need to explain it a little bit more. What's your favourite book and why is it your favourite book? So I'll give you a few minutes to think about that. So type it in the chat box. Full explanation, okay? What's your favourite book and why? It might be your favourite author if you can't think of a specific book. Okay, let's see. Let's read out some of these answers. Casey, Lego Star Wars, because you love Lego and love Star Wars. Perfect. Stan, probably Diary of a Wimpy Kid, because there's lots of things that happen all the time. Oh, that sounds like a very exciting book. Finn, Harry Potter. Great language, vocabulary, and twisting storyline. Yeah, and the friendship. The friendship's really good, isn't it? Grace, Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets. It's really interesting, keeping you hooked. Brilliant. Oh, where was Amelie? Harry Potter, it's mythical and there are twists and it can be sad. Yeah, so it really hooks you, doesn't it, of all the different emotions that you feel. Lula, The World's Worst Teachers. Is that by David Walliams? I haven't read that one. Ted, Harry Potter. Yeah, because it's so magical. Jake, don't worry, honey. Here you are now. Kyle, yeah, Harry Potter. The books are good, but also the films are really good, aren't they? Josh says Born to Run by Michael Morpurgo, because the first book you read. Yeah, it's really good, that, isn't it? You always remember your first books. Ori, Goosebumps. Yes, I like the Goosebumps books. They were my favourite when I was younger. That's okay, Casey, you can have two. You can share both of them. Harry Famous 5 by Enid Blyton. I was a huge Enid Blyton fan when I was younger. I used to like the Secret 7 ones. Mrs. Kerr and I were discussing her books the other day. I also like the Enchanted Wood and the Faraway Tree and the Wishing Chair. Hobbit, yes, Stanley. Shapeshifter, Florence. Who's that by? I haven't heard of that one. Lulu, you've got all the Secret Seven. Have you read them, Lula? Do you like them? And Casey says Percy Jackson. Not yet. Have a go, Lula. Start one and see what you think. I also love Harry Potter. My favourite Harry Potter book, I'm sure you all know that already, actually. I don't know why I've said that. My favourite Harry Potter book, though, is the Goblet of Fire. Stan, you have to stick with it. When the books take forever, keep going. Yeah, I like Harry Potter and Goblet of Fire. But I like the books, not the films. Oh, Finn, they sound good. So Hive finished the whole series, a bit like Harry Potter, but instead of magic, it's technology. Super duper. Oh, thank you, Florence. Ali Sparks writes The Shapeshifter. Luli liked Prisoner of Azkaban. BB likes Prisoner of Azkaban best too. Yes, Emily, fully agree. Ah, great. She likes Secret Seven too. Oh, lovely. Right, Year 6. Let's move on. So today's story. Thank you everybody for showing all those with me. Oh, and Becky's Magical Mighty. I've not heard of that one either. Fantastic Beasts. I haven't read the book, but I will. I've only seen the film, but I will read the book because I'm sure it'll be much better. Okay, Year 6. Let's pause on that. Thank you so much for sharing, and we're going to move on. So Mr. Kelly shared this book with us, and I read it, and I thought it's a really interesting book, especially as when we read through it, by the time we get to the end, it's got a nice little moral to it. So it's quite a good one to be reading. So before we start, just like we would do in a guided reading session, what I would like you to do is have a real close look at this front cover. What do you think this character's personality is like from what you can see from the illustration? So you can see it's been illustrated by Peter Kimball Evans. What do you think about his personality? Sneaky? Yes, Becky. I think he's sneaky as well. So remember, guys, the question is personality, not what he looks like. Jake thinks he's weird. Grace thinks he's dirty. Casey says he loves socks. He's messy. Yes, Finn, I think so too. Mischievous. Got a big clue of that already, haven't we? From what it says on that front cover there. Stan, he is small, but what is that his personality? He's naughty. That's okay, Stan, well done. Okay, next question then to think about. What's he actually doing there? What's he actually doing? Yes, he's eating socks. Why would he be eating socks? And if he's eating socks, where on earth is he getting them from? It's a dirty sock. Well done for adding in some adjectives there as well. Gets the socks from the bin. Ooh, maybe a sock robber, hey? Gets them from someone's drawer. Gets them from people's wardrobe. Good predicting, everyone. Okay, what do you think is going to happen in this story? Now, that's quite a tough question because I haven't read any blurb to you. All I've given you is a picture and a title. Peter the Sock Eater. Yes, Becky, maybe that is where all your socks have gone. Stan thinks he's going to eat all the socks in the world. He's going to steal loads of socks. He's going to steal all his family socks. Emily says he's going to eat everyone's socks. Now we're going to find out where they all go. Casey said he's going to eat his dirty socks. Lovely. Lula thinks he likes only colourful socks. Kyle says he's going to eat socks all day, every day. Josh thinks he's a virus. That's interesting, Josh. I'll tell you now, though, he's not. Okay, let's have a listen to the story then. But before I read the story, I first have to show you some questions that you need to think about as I'm reading, just like we would in a guided reading session. So you're going to need paper and pen because you're going to be having to jot down some ideas. So the questions are, don't worry if you forget them as we're going through, just read through these now. How do you think Peter's mum feels while he's growing up? Why are some words written in different colours or fonts? And why does Peter not want to be a sock eater anymore? And then when we get to the end, what do you think will happen next? That one you really need to think about, that last one, because after I've read the story, that's what we're going to be discussing, is what's going to happen next. Okay, so be thinking about that. So as we're going along, just listen. You don't need to do anything other than make notes. And at the end, I will go through the questions with you again. All right. You don't need to be typing anything in the chat box. All you need to do now is sit back and listen. Now I'm going to put the story on the screen so you can read it at the same time as me. There's a challenge. I'll leave them up there. Here we go. Move that out of the way. We put the chat box up just in case anything appears in it. Okay, so Peter the Sock Eater, a mischievous monster story written by Lee Conley and illustrated by Peter Kimball Evans. Have you ever heard your mum or dad shout, "What's happened to the socks?" as they are emptying the washing machine? Have you gone to your sock drawer and wondered why you have so many odd socks? If you have, then you've probably been visited by a sock eater. At the back of every washing machine is a little gap, just the right size for a sock eater to crawl into for a nap, which happens a lot. The problem is that when they're in there, they get hungry, very hungry. And what's the most delicious thing to find in a washing machine? I bet you can guess what they like, can't you? It's taken them a few years, but now all sock eaters know what the best clothes to eat are. That's right, socks. Oh yes, I'm sure you're thinking, oh yuck, that sounds disgusting. But to a sock eater, they taste like the most deliciously, scrumptiously, sweet and stretchy thing ever. Well, to most sock eaters anyway. Peter was a sock eater. His mum was a sock eater. His dad was a sock eater. His brothers were sock eaters. His sister was a sock eater. His grandparents were sock eaters. Their parents were sock eaters. And their parents were sock eaters. And their parents, well, their parents were sink blockers. But most of the family didn't talk about that. Anyway, being a sock eater was a fact that Peter was reminded of every day. The only problem was Peter did not like eating socks. He definitely did not think that they were the most deliciously, scrumptiously, sweet and stretchy thing he had ever eaten. In fact, he thought that they tasted like, well, socks. Poor Peter. Ever since he was a baby, he was made to eat long sock butties for breakfast, ankle socks for Levinses, trainer socks for tea, and slipper socks for supper. On special occasions, he would have to eat football socks. And at Christmas, his family would want him to eat Christmas stockings. However, from an early age, it was obvious that Peter did not enjoy eating socks as much as the rest of the family. His mum tried everything. She tried eating them fun. Here comes the foot. Stomp, 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 she would say. Yuck, was always Peter's reply. She even tried painting them green to make them look like broccoli. She took him to the doctor's, but there was nothing wrong. It was simple. Peter just did not like socks. One day, Peter was hanging around at the back of the washing machine when his stomach started to rumble a grumbliness. Dreading that it was nearly time to eat, he reluctantly started stretching his hand out towards his nemesis, the sock, when he heard a noise behind him. Turning round, all startled, Peter saw the back hatch of the washing machine open and something small and black sloosh into it, carrying a lime green toolbox. The mysterious creature stared at Peter. Peter stared at the mysterious creature. All right, said the mysterious creature. Not disturbing, am I? No, replied Peter anxiously. Thought not. I'm Fred. Don't mind me. Fred then pulled out a large wrenchmobob from his toolbox and started hitting the innards of the washing machine. What are you doing? What? Me? I'm a washing machine breaker, aren't I? I go round breaking washing machines. Yeah, it's a good job, but we always make sure to leave a pebble behind so the kids can be blamed. Fred allowed himself a moment for a little wry smile, then went back to work. Crash, tinkle, bang, clang, smash. After a while, Fred turned his attention back to Peter, who by now was looking rather befuddled. Now, if I'm not much mistaken, Fred said, you are a sock eater. Peter nodded sheepishly. Well, don't mind me, Gov. Here, I saw a nice pair of sports socks fly past. Go on, you may as well have a snack before I break the machine. Fred handed Peter the socks. Peter looked at the socks. Peter felt queasy looking at the socks. Peter went very green while feeling queasy looking at the socks, which is a good trick for a monster that's already bogey green. You all right? Fred asked, feeling some concern for his new friend. Peter explained his story to Fred. He explained how he was a sock eater, how his mum was a sock eater, his dad was a sock eater, his brothers were sock eaters, his sister was a sock eater, his grandparents were sock eaters, their parents were sock eaters, and how their parents were sock eaters. He even mentioned how their parents were sink blockers, but he didn't really want to talk about them. Afterwards, Peter was happy that he'd got all the things off his chest. Well, the tiny space between his chin and his belly button. But he also felt sad as he thought he was letting his family down. Peter stood staring at Fred. Fred stood staring at Peter. So, Peter started to explain that he was a sock eater. His mum was a sock eater. His dad was a sock eater. His brothers. Okay, let's not go through all of that again. So what's the problem? I mean, if you don't want to be a sock eater, don't be a sock eater. I wasn't always a washing machine breaker. I was brought up as a remote hider, but it weren't for me, so I changed. Peter stood, staring at Fred. Fred stood staring at Peter. But, weren't your family let down? Nah, bless you, nah, Fred replied. Family love you for you, not what you are. They don't mind if you are a sock eater, a remote hider, a washing machine breaker, or even a bedroom messier. Your family will support and love you if you just explain. Try it. So that is exactly what Peter did. He told his family that he knew that his mum was a sock eater, his dad was a sock eater, his brothers were sock eaters. His sister was a sock eater, his grandparents were sock eaters, their parents were sock eaters, and their parents were sock eaters. But he said he didn't want to be a sock eater. And you know what? Fred was right. They didn't mind one bit. They just wanted Peter to be happy. And he is. What's that? You want to know what Peter does now? He now works as a last page remover. They are the monsters that annoyingly remove the last page of the book you are reading, so you never get to find out the ending. He is very happy in his new job, and you'll never guess what happened to him last Thursday. It was the best thing that had ever happened to a mischievous monster. What was it? Well, just read the next page to find out. Uh-oh, the page has been removed. Okay, year 6, that's the end of the story. What I would like you to do first of all, before we look at these questions, is just tell me, whilst it's fresh in your mind, what you thought about that story. What did you think about that story? What did you like about it? What did you dislike about it? It was really funny. Yeah, the washing machine monster believed in him. Fred did, didn't he? Liked it because it was funny. All the different jobs that were listed. Yes, Casey, it doesn't matter who you are. All that matters is your personality and making sure that you're happy. It was repetitive theme all the way through. Yes. Kyle said it was weird. Did you like it though, Kyle? Jamie thinks it was funny. We like how the last page was removed. It was strange. Yes, how it was. It was funny. Like the hiding the remote job. Yes. Good, Kyle. They don't judge Fred. They don't judge. Fred's fine. And yeah, they all loved it. So yes, year 6, the important message through that story was it doesn't matter who you are or what you like doing. It's about you and making sure that you're happy. And remember, as a friend, we also don't judge people, do we? Because it's okay to be different, isn't it? That's what's important. And making sure that we're kind to everybody. Yes, Casey, thank you for improving that comment. They don't judge. Yes. Yeah, Florence, I like that bit, the repetitive bit about his mum being a sock eater, his dad being a sock eater. Yes, Becky. Didn't like the last page being removed. We'll look at that in a minute. Yes, Ted, it teaches you not to judge people. Right, quick question then before we go through the ones I asked you to think about. Can you tell me, in your house, which of those monsters might you have? I've had the washing machine breaker. Fred's definitely been to my house. The sock eaters are in my house as well. The remote control hider. Yeah, lots of you are saying that. Football kit hider. Bedroom messier. Sock snatchers. That's a good name for them. Room messier. Lots of people are saying that one. Last page remove if you come across one of them, Joshua. Kyle, what you've said there is perfect. You definitely shouldn't do that. A phone breaker. Sock eater. Washing machine breaker. All the same ones. Anybody got any different monsters that might appear in your house? A hockey kit hider. The bedroom messier one's coming up a lot. A book hider. A desk messier. Shoe hiders, yes, they're in my house too. A charger breaker, Jacob. Yes, I didn't think of that one. Finn, is it a monster that caused that? Finn says it's a monster that stops him getting to sleep. Rubber hider. Snack eater. Oh, yes, Lula. They're definitely in my house. Phone hider, device hiders, comic book snatcher. Right. Well done, everybody. Let's go back to those questions then. So how do you think Peter's mum feels about him when he's growing up? Because to start with, he doesn't tell her how he feels, does he? He just eats the socks, but doesn't really want to. How do you think his mum feels about that? Oh, that's lovely, Joshua. Unconditional love, yes. Casey said he's fine. She's fine, but a bit worried. Stanley says she's not very good because she wants to make him a sock eater. Emily, yeah, she spent a lot of time trying to find the right socks for him. She was obviously concerned, wasn't she? Because she took him to the doctor. She's making loads of effort, but feeling sad about and worried about him. How do you think she feels at the end of the story then? Love. Oh, that's sweet, Casey. Proud, happy, good. Kyle, are you sure about that one? Loved. Happy, yes. Proud. Well done, everybody. Okay, so through the book, thank you for those, everybody. Thanks, Kyle. Happy and proud. Yes, Ori, I agree with that one too. So why then, throughout the book, were some of the words written in different fonts and different colours? I know somebody wrote it earlier on, but I missed what they said because the chat box suddenly filled up. So why were the fonts different for suspense? Which words were in different colours and fonts? Keep you hooked, yeah. What type of language then was written in different fonts and colours? The speech was in different colours and fonts, yes, well done. The monsters' names, yep, well done. Sock eater, the words that are repeated. What about the adjectives? Were they in different fonts and colours? The meaningful words. Well done, everybody. You took loads of notes doing that. And you were very observant. Well done. Okay, so why does Peter not want to be the sock eater anymore? Why does he not want to be the sock eater? Yes, simple as that, Lula. He just does not like them. And he's tried, hasn't he? He's tried lots of different ones. He thinks they're disgusting, doesn't like them. He hates socks and he shouldn't be judged for it. Yes, Casey, exactly. Yes, good word, Finn. They're revolting because it doesn't fit the job. Doesn't like socks. Ah, yes, Emily, maybe he should try some clean ones. I don't think he tried them, did he? Okay, thank you, everybody. Stop that question now. The next one then, the end of the book. And we came to that last page that had been removed, didn't we, by Peter? What do you think happened next? I'm just going to go back to it. Just going to go back to it so you can see it again. Where's it gone? Oh, I've closed it. If we just go right to the end. Okay, what's that? You want to know what Peter does now? He now works as the last page remover. They are the monsters that annoyingly remove the last page of the book you are reading, so you never get to find out the ending. He is very happy in his new job, and you'll never guess what happened to him last Thursday. It was the best thing that ever happened to a mischievous monster. So, Year 6, what happened to him last Thursday? Can you carry on that story, please, in a couple of sentences? Type them in the chat box. Fred comes to help him, helps him with the job, removing the last pages. He becomes a famous last page remover. He's wanted that job and he's proud of himself for speaking up about it. He got into a library. Oh no, Stan. The mayhem. He becomes president of Sockville and he makes new jobs for new people who hate socks or hates remotes, and became the last page remover. He became promoted. What did he become promoted to, Emily? He started to like socks. He became manager. He also became a paper eater. He becomes president of Sockville and makes new jobs. Oh yeah, we've read that one, thank you. He got into the library, Stan says, and he ripped out the last page of every single book. Joshua says everyone starts to notice him. Now he's famous. He started to like socks. He got his one book. He makes his own book and removes the last page. He starts to like socks. He removes the page from the Queen's favourite book. Oh dear, Harry. Grace says, by last Thursday, by accident, he saw how annoyed his family were and he thought it was funny, so he started doing it. Emily says he didn't get rid of just the last page, he got rid of the whole book. Josh said he makes his own books and removes the last page. Finn says he finds a book on the floor about him and he eats the page and his parents are so proud of him. Stan says he writes a book about himself. What great suggestions, Year 6. Well done. Right, I'm going to show you now your challenges for today. And finally from Kyle, maybe he had turned into a paper eater of every book but the last page. Joshua, that's great. He's promoted to the cover remover now, so no one knows what book they're actually reading. Well done, everybody. Right, let's go to the challenge. Okay, sure this is quite obvious for you what your challenge today. You're now going to design and create your own mischievous monster. So it can do something in your house, it can cause mayhem in the garden, or it could be a monster for the school that causes mayhem. It's entirely up to you. So the first thing you have to do is draw it. Now make sure you include as much detail as possible. So think about try and show in the drawing what it actually looks like. So think about the colours, what makes it so unique, and make sure you include any distinctive features. Once you've drawn it, it's then time to describe it. So what does your monster think and feel? Is it similar to Peter? Does it have to do one thing but doesn't actually want to do it? Or isn't it? Is it included by everybody? What does your monster like? What does your monster dislike? And then what is it that your monster actually does to cause mayhem? That's the bit you really need to describe, okay? I've also included a second challenge. And your second challenge today, Year 6, is to just read for fun, pick some books, take some pictures, enjoy reading them. And then this quote I thought was perfect for today. Reading, it gives us a place to go when we have to stay where we are. Because right now, during lockdown, we have to stay exactly where we are, don't we? So reading, it helps with our imagination, helps us go somewhere else and enjoy it. You will also notice in the folder on Google, I've included an emoji challenge that Mrs. McLaren found. I'll quickly show you that whilst we've got a few minutes left in the lesson. You don't have to do this one. This one's just for fun as well. So each of these emojis are titles of books. Have a go, see how you get on with them. You obviously don't have to. Okay, so there's all your challenges for today, year 6. Remember, Mr. Kelly's asked for pictures of you enjoying books. You can send them to me, and I can forward them to him, or you can send them directly to Mr. Kelly. Have a great day, year 6. Enjoy books. Try and enjoy the sunshine too. And I will see you in tomorrow's lesson. Bye, everybody. Have a good day. See you later.